fucking Valentine's Day. Fuck this day. This is a day that was invented by the Hallmark companies to sell more greeting cards and bouquets and fucking candy. So, yeah, fuck this day. In the meantime, it's time for another episode of the Bible and an atheist point of view. I'm Shua, your host. I'll be reading from the Bible. This cover's been through hell. One chapter at a time and one chapter per video. Why? Because when I do, I laugh my fucking ass off. Seriously, one man's biblical text is my Mad Magazine. Alright, start that bumper music. Kick ass. Where I left off in my Bellwire Bible is Deuteronomy chapter 32. Let's read. Verse 1. Give me, O heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth. What? The nonsense just never ends. Verse 2. Me, my teaching drop as the rain, my speech distill as the dew, like gentle rain upon the tender grass, and like showers upon the herb. Oh, herb. At least you're watering your pot, God. Verse 3, for I will proclaim the name of the Lord. Ascribe greatness to our Lord. Ascribe? Quick, subscribe to God. I already am. Facebook God. Verse 4, the rock, his work is perfect. Oh, I wouldn't think that he's that great. They are referring to the actor, right? The Rock. For all his ways are justice. But his acting could be better. A God of faithfulness, and without inquiry, just as upright is he. Or she. Verse 5, they have dealt corruptly with him. They are no longer his children, because they are blemished. They are a crooked and twisted generation. Sounds like my generation. Verse 6, do you thus repay the Lord, you foolish and senseless people? Foolish and senseless. He's just self-senseless. Is not he your father who created you, who made you and established you? You! Verse 8, when the Most High... Dude, most of us are high, man. Dave's not here, man. Gave to the nations their inheritance when he divided mankind. He fixed the borders of the peoples according to the number of the sons of God. But the Lord's portion in his people, Jacob, his allotted heritage. Allotted? Verse 10, he found him in a desert land and in the howling waste of the wilderness. He encircled him. He cared for him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. What does he always fix with apples anyways, huh? He probably owns an iPhone. Verse 11, like an eagle that stirs up his nest, and flutters over its young, spreading out its wings, catching them, burying them on its pinions. I've got no opinion on your pinions. Verse 12, the Lord along guided him. No foreign god was with him. Understand that? No Mexican gods were with him. There was no chupacabra. Verse 13, he made him ride on the high places of the land, and he ate the produce of the field, and he suckled him. Suckled him with honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock. Verse 14, curds from the herd, and milk from the flock, with fat of the lambs, rams of Bashan, and goats, with the very finest of the wheat. And you drank foaming wine made from the blood of the grape. That's not foaming wine, that's a wine cooler. Grape Hefeweizen. Verse 13. But just you run. Or just you shouldn't run. Grow fat. Fat bastard. Get up and do something. Get off the couch. Just you run, you fat fuck. And kicked. You grew fat, stout, and sleek. Then he forsook God, who made him, and scoffed at the rock of his salvation. Oh, there we go. Mention that fucker again. Verse 16. They stirred him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations they provoked him to anger. Oh, everybody just get pissed off. That's right, I want to get mad. Verse 13, they sacrificed to demons that were no gods. And sacrificed to gods that were no gods, right? To gods they have never known, to new gods that they have come recently, whom your fathers have never dreaded. Because they were not real! Verse 18, you were unmindful of the rock that bore you. What the fuck is that? Unmindful of the rock that bore you. I'm sorry, but I didn't come from a rock. It probably would have hurt him. And you forgot the God who gave you birth. No, somebody instilled the image in my head to begin with. I'm trying to forget that. Verse 19, the Lord saw it and spurned them. Spurned? What the fuck? I gotta Google that one later. Spurned. Because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. Verse 20, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end will be. Have you showed your face yet, asshole? For they are a perverse generation, children in whom is no faithfulness. He must be referring to atheists. Verse 21, they have made me jealous with what is no God. Oh, fuck you, God, you made it yourself. They have provoked me to anger with their idols. Well, Billy Idol rocks, what can I say? So I will make them jealous with those who are no people. What? I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. You're doing a fine job of that, God. We're definitely killing plenty of people in your fucking name. Verse 22. For fires kindled by my anger. That's all you gotta do, light a cigarette, just get mad. And where fire is kindled by my anger, and it burns to the depths of Sheol, where the fuck that is, devours the earth and its increase, and sets on fire the foundations of the mountains. Foundations of the mountains. Verse 23, and I will heap disasters upon them. I will spend my arrows on them. Kill, murder, and genocide. That's the way of Yahweh. Verse 24, they shall be wasted with hunger and devoured by plague and poisonous pestilence. I will send the teeth of beasts against them. The teeth of beasts against them? Fuck this asshole, man. What a douche. With the venom of things that crawl in the dust. Verse 25, outdoors, the sword shall bereave. The sword shall bereave. And indoor terrors for young men and women alike, to nursing children with the men of gray hairs. What? I told you it was my Mad magazine. Shit is fucking crazy. Verse 26, I would have said, I will cut them to pieces. I will wipe them from the human memory. Cut them to pieces? Yeah, fuck. Verse 27, had I not feared provocation by the enemy, lest their adversaries should be misunderstood, lest they should say, our land is triumphant. It was not the Lord who did all this. No shit. Verse 28, for they are a nation void of counsel, and there is no understanding in them. For you. Verse 29, if they were wise, they would understand this. They would discern their latter end. Verse 30, how could one have clashed 1,000 and two have put 10,000 to flight unless their rock had sold them and the Lord had given them up? I don't know. How would they? Verse 31, for the rock is not as our rock. Our enemies are by themselves. Verse 32, for their vine comes from the vine of Sodom, and from the fields of Gomorrah their grapes are grapes of poison. Their clusters are bitter. Verse 33, their wine is the poison of serpents and the krill venom of asps. Asps. Very dangerous. You go first. Verse 34, is not this laid up in store with me, sealed up in my treasuries? Verse 35, vengeance is mine, and recompense? Recompense. Fuck. For the time when their foot shall slip. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and their doom comes swiftly. Doom and gloom. Verse 36, for the Lord will vindicate his people, and I have compassion on his servants. That's because when he sees that their power is gone and there is none remaining, bond or free. I didn't know they had bail bonds back then. Verse 37, then he will say, where are their gods, the rock in which they took refuge? Verse 38, who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them rise up and help you. Let them be your protection. Verse 39, see how I, even I, am he, and there is no God besides me. You just said there were, you fuck. I kill and I make alive. No, you mainly kill. I wound and I heal. No, you mainly wound. And there is none that can deliver out of my hand. Except for maybe my own mind. Verse 40, for I lift up my hand to heaven, I swear, as I live forever, until you change your mind. Verse 41, if I sharpen my flashing sword and my hand takes hold on judgment, I will take vengeance on my adversaries and will repay those who hate me. Bring it. Nah, I don't hate you, God. How can I hate something that's not real? Verse 42, I will make my arrows drunk with blood. God, how poetic and brutal at the same time. Drunk with blood. And my sword shall devour flesh. With the blood of the slain and the captives from the long-haired heads of the enemy. I'm fucked. Verse 43, rejoice with him, O heavens, bow down to him, O gods. He just said there wasn't any other gods, and 3 fucking verses later, all gods. Yeah, for he avenges the blood of his children and takes vengeance on his adversaries. He repays those who hate him and cleanses his people's lands. You call that cleansing? Genocide, also known as cleansing. Verse 44, Moses came and recited all the words of his song in the hearing of the people, he and Joshua and the son of Nun. Or the son of some. Son of few? Some of many? No, son of none. Okay. Verse 45, and when Moses had finished speaking all these words to all of Israel, he said to them, take to heart all take to heart all the words by which I am warning you today, that you may command them to your children, that they may be careful to do all the words of this law, for it is no enemy word for you, but your very life, and by this word you shall live long in the land that you are going over to Jordan to possess, until he decides to fucking kill you with his swords and his fucking drunk arrows. Verse 48, that very day the Lord spoke to Moses. Did he now? Why couldn't he just send him a text? Verse 49, go up this mountain of the Abarim, Mount Nibu, which is in the land of Moab, opposite Jericho, and view the land of Canaan, which I am giving you to the people of Israel for possession. Verse 50, you die on the mountain. Of course you're not going to live. You're going to die with drunk arrows, which you go up and be gathered to your people, as Aaron and your brother died to Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people. Verse 51, because you broke faith with me in the midst of the people of Israel at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, invaders Zin, and because you did not treat me as the holy in the midst of the people of Israel, you fucking attention whore. Isn't he though? Yahweh is just a fucking big attention whore. Last fucking verse. Verse 52, for you shall see the land before you, but you shall not go there into the land that I am giving you to the people of Israel. Never gets old. Well, kids, once again, this has been Shua, and this has been the Bible and an atheist point of view.